In this video, we're going to learn some great ways to enhance and animate art inside of DaVinci Resolve to make some good motion graphics. And it's really, this is silly. Before we get into it, huge thanks to Artlist for sponsoring this video. More on them in a little bit. Look at this.
In 2025, we will do away with confusing imperial and metric measurements and replace them with one universal standard: the absolute unit. An absolute unit is a measurement of the length, width, mass and volume of a severely overweight house cat. Using absolute units, we can measure absolutely anything with one form of measurement, simplifying communication around the world. Why measure length in inches or centimeters? They've never made any sense. The office is 4 absolute units wide. But they're useful for more than just length. This Halloween pumpkin weighs 2.5 absolute units. Would you like 1/9 of an absolute unit of tea?
I love stupid stuff like this. So I've been wanting to make a video about this stupid concept for a really long time, about using absolute units, just really fat cats, as a measuring system. And so I had our friend Dan, who is an amazing artist, sketch a quick cat that's chunky and perfect for stacking. And he gave me the line art and just handed it to me and said that I could take it from there. So that's kind of the first thing I want to show you, is how I took this kind of thing and made it into this nice kind of colored, cartoony, beautiful looking drawing. Let's just go ahead and start over here. I'll just grab this media in. Let's turn off our page navigation here. Okay, so here's our media in. And again, this is just line art. This is just drawn in like a sketch app on the iPad. And we'll just call this line art. And this same technique works great for any kind of line art. You can pretty much do this with anything. But what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to make a background node. And we're going to make this background node the exact same size as this art. So this is 2360 by 1640. If you don't know, you can select a background node. And then here in the image tab, you can go here and uncheck auto resolution, and then set this width and height to be whatever you want. So let's do 23 by 1640, 2360 by 1640. And so now the background and the cat are the same resolution. The reason we want that is, let's just take our background and make it any color, doesn't matter. Sure, this terrible green, that works great. And let's take the line art and merge it over the background. I'm just dragging this little gray square output over the little gray square on the background like this. And now we have the line art on the background. The first thing we're going to do is make just kind of the main color for the cat. So I'll take this background and we'll just call this main color. I'm just hitting F2 to rename, and I'm going to grab a polygon mask and connect that to our main color. That's going to get rid of everything, which is totally fine. And what I'm going to do is just take some time and just trace around inside of this outer outline for our cat. I won't worry about the whiskers here. Go up here to his ear. Just something like this. Doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be within this black line. So as long as it's within there, we're good. Now, when I close that path, it's going to fill in the background of the cat. Now, let's change this to a different color. Let's make him a blue cat. Let's just go with that. Yeah, nice bright blue. And let's rename this polygon. We'll call this body mask. And the first thing I want to do is give this guy a little bit of dimension. So he's just kind of a flat color right now, but let's give him a little bit of shading. And so let's make another background, and we'll just leave this black. We'll just call this black. We'll move this over and then merge that over our main color. And actually, when I do that, I forgot that my background is going to be a different resolution. So I'll just copy and paste this main color, Control C, Control V. And that's going to keep that same resolution, and I'll just change the color. It's a little bit easier to change the color than to reset the resolution, although you could totally do that. That's fine. Okay, this main color, yeah, this is going to be black. Now we'll take this black, and the first thing I'm going to do is take this body mask and take the output of this and put this into the merge 8 right here. And that's going to limit where that black is merged over that blue. So it's essentially just cutting out the main color and the black with the same path. But we're even going to cut within this. And so we'll take this black and we'll make a polygon mask like this. And now I'm just going to kind of go around like this and just kind of try and add a little bit of dimension here to our cat. And then I'm not worrying about the outer side because guess what? It's going to clip it to that same mask. So now we have just this really, really dark black shadow. We can take this merge. I could switch this apply mode to multiply and then take the blend down. And I'm just going to push this in a little bit just to where we can kind of start to see that there's a difference here. Just a little bit of contrast. And now that does a whole lot. You kind of get that roundness. And I'm not the very best artist in the world, so I mean, I don't know if this is even that accurate, but it totally works. It's totally good enough. So now we have that shadow, okay? From there, we can repeat this same process to add any other kind of details. So I think I want to make kind of a little white face for him. I'm going to copy and paste this background like this. We'll call this white. And let's make this color kind of a yellowish white, like a cream color, like this. Merge it over. And again, we'll take this body mask and put this into the merge. And then I can take this white and let's do a polygon on that. And I'm just going to select where I think it should be white here. So just kind of on his little face, like this, right here, kind of under his nose. Sure. Something like that. And now he has a little white face. Oh, and it looks so good. I didn't even do that great of a job and it looks pretty cool. Looks pretty good. That's the nice thing is when you have that nice line art, you can make it up and it works pretty well. Just kind of move this in. Yeah, something like that. Let's make a color for his nose. Again, we'll just copy and paste this background just because it keeps that same resolution, that 2360 by 1640. Let's make this kind of a pink. Sure. Let's rename this pink. And this time I'm just going to draw a polygon. I don't need to limit it here. And we'll just go around the edges here like this. Boop. Now he has a pink nose. That's cool. One thing I want to do is give him some stripes. And so again, same thing, copy, paste the pink. And let's give him a little bit, kind of like a dark purple, palish purple. And we'll do the same thing. We'll just give him a couple stripes here. I'm just going to kind of do my best. Again, if you are a better artist than me, feel free to make better stripes. You get some really cool effects here just by adding a couple stripes. If I want to add more polygons, I can just link them up like this. Just like that. I'm just adding those stripes. So now we have the stripes on the cat. Look at that, looks so good. I didn't even try very hard. I obviously didn't even do that great of a job, but like, check it out. We have a really cool little detailed colored cat and I can completely customize it. I could make a polka dot cat. I could make him look like a tiger, whatever I want to do. But there's my cartoon for my cat. After this merge, I could do a transform node, run this into a transform, and then I can size it and scale this and do all the things that I want to do to animate this cat. We'll get into how to do that and a couple other things here in a minute. And as I said earlier, Artlist was nice enough to sponsor this video and they were like, you should talk about our AI voiceover. And I love their AI voiceover, dude. Like this video would not be possible without it. So check this out. All of this text right here, this is generated with AI from the Artlist site. This music is also from Artlist, by the way. We'll just solo this.
Using absolute units, we can measure absolutely anything with one form of measurement.
All this voiceover is generated from text. Here's how it works. You go into your Artlist account, you go down to voiceover. When you click that, there are all these different voices that you can use. And honestly, it's inspiring just to hear all the voices that you can use because it gives you so many ideas for the types of videos that you could possibly make. So there's everything from men and women to kids of all ages and all kinds of tones. And I spent way too long just exploring and playing with this. The guys told me I had to get back to work. Like, look at this. I've done 87 of these today. I'm so embarrassed because it's so much fun and it's so easy. And so I actually went with the voice that I started with because I think it's great.
Oh, nah. Here, chunky boy.
So here's some ideas I was playing with to do this from like a kid's perspective.
I dream of a simpler future where I don't have to worry about math so much. I just walk 247.87 absolute units to school.
I love how it captures like how a kid would be struggling to read this. And it sounds so realistic. It's so cool.
We just feed Mr. Mitten's dog food until he graduates from mega chunk to absolute unit.
So I did that for a while, and then I played around with this kind of storyteller, Charmed.
In 2037, over 95% of its population accepted absolute units as their sole means of measurement. From then on, there was peace.
It sounds like the beginning of, a children's story or something like that. Oh, it's just magical. And so even just like going through this, I'm like, man, I think of all these amazing things that I could make just with this, just with Artlist. That's what's crazy. You guys know there's not a lot of sponsors on this channel, but we keep going back to Artlist because they have so much cool stuff. The voiceover thing is amazing, and they have sound effects and footage and music. They have like everything that you need to make an entire video. I mean, pretty much this entire video is Artlist stuff. The music, the voiceover, the footage is all from Artlist. It's crazy. So if you're looking to practice editing, you can make a super legit video just with stuff from this one site. It's totally crazy. So to show you just how easy the voiceover is in real time, let's just pick something here.
I'm embracing every part of me.
So this is more of a, kind of fashion sort of feel. I can't believe it. Brittany lost 3 absolute units of makeup at Derek's beach house. Generate. What's so great about this is that it does not care how foolish it is to get a voiceover artist to say the stupid things I want them to say. Sometimes not the easiest thing.
I can't believe it. Brittany lost 3 absolute units of makeup at Derek's beach house.
And so that's pretty good, but let's do the emotion. Let's change the emotion to angry and let's slow it down a little bit here. Let's see how that works.
I can't believe it. Brittany lost 3 absolute units of makeup at Derek's beach house.
Let's do more like a surprised.
I can't believe it. Brittany lost 3 absolute units of makeup at Derek's beach house.
Yes, see?
To stay hydrated during your workout, simply drink 42/49 absolute units of water. Here, chunky boy.
Chunky boy.
94% of the world's population is expected to use absolute units as their sole means of measurement.
Grandpa says we can feed him gravel to get that last hefty chunk on our handsome boy. We just feed Mr. Mitten's dog food until he graduates from mega chunk to absolute unit.
Mega chunk. So yeah, if you're looking for stock music, footage, sound effects, things like that, and even if you need a voiceover, Artlist is amazing, man. We use them for so much stuff. It's ridiculous. And if you click the link in the description below, you get a special deal on an Artlist subscription. Helps you out, helps the channel out. Oh, baby. So make sure to do that. Click the link below. You can also click right there. Okay, let's do some more art, shall we? For this shot right here where we're measuring how wide an office is in cats in absolute units. Here's how we did that. So we're starting with a white background, and then we bring in this art. This is just a stock image, and we're transforming it and putting it over our background. And then we're doing essentially what we did before. We're taking this art. I'm taking the outline here and adding a brightness and contrast just to darken it down, making sure that I click pre-divide, post to multiply, as well as clip black and white here. And I'm just pushing this low threshold up a little bit so more of this is black. Then combining it with the background, and we could do the exact same treatment as we did before. In fact, why don't we just do that? I'm just going to go to the clips. Where's our blue cat? There he is. There's our handsome boy. We'll just throw that there, put that into our transform. So this is the art for the blue cat, and then we're running that through a transform. What this is doing is just sizing it down and kind of placing it on top of the stock art. Then I'm running this through a duplicate. Now this is really cool. The duplicate, what that does is it duplicates whatever you run through it. So there we go. It just duplicates it, and you can adjust the angle and everything that it places things, how far away it is, how many copies there are. And so we pretty much just kind of line that up like that. And then we can animate how many copies there are. And so that's how we can just like measure things with cats. So that's pretty much what we did. And now we're measuring that the room is 4 cats long. After that, I made a polygon, just made a line like this and didn't close this shape and pushed up the border width a little bit. And that's applied to a black background, just as a mask. We added some text, which just says 4.0 AU. And then I used a little rectangle mask to cut out this line around the text. And then that gives us our finished product of the animated cat measurement system. The absolute units. So great. I know what you're wondering. You're wondering, how did we animate this cat to go from fine boy to he chomp to a heckin' chonker to a hefty chonk to a mega chonker to an absolute unit all in one video? Here's what we did. I found a piece of vector art of this cat walking like this and saved it as an SVG from another program. And then you can go up to Fusion, import SVG. And here's our cat SVG like this. You can set the image size. I'll hit OK. And that brings in a group. If you double click the group, you can open it up. And what it does is it makes a series of polygon masks and attaches those to a background. A lot like we were doing when we were making the shapes to color in the cat. And so all I really need are these 3 paths in the background. So I just select those, hit Control C, double click out and hit Control V. And that's going to give me this shape of this cat. And so all I did over time, which is really simple, is I picked the body shape like this and made sure to hit the keyframe diamond and keyframed this shape and then went towards the end here. And then I just adjusted the shape to be a fatter cat. And so I just kind of pushed a lot of these things down like this. Just pushed them straight down. Made his little paws a little bit wider. Gave him a little big old chest. Gave him some bigger jowls. Filled out his back a little bit. Made his tail a little bit thicker. And selected a lot of those points and hit Shift S. And that kind of just smooths them out so they all kind of flow in together like that. And so that makes this big old chunky boy. Yeah, that's how you make a really fat cat. Your mom would be proud of what you're learning here, won't she? So this makes a huge cat. And then it animates in between. And he goes from a fine boy to a hefty chunker. Anyway, that's how you can animate that sort of kind of growing motion. And just, yeah, exactly the same thing. And to animate the text and to have it say different things, you can just click this keyframe diamond for the text and just type it in and change it whenever you want it to actually update. And so we started with a fine boy and then went to he chomp. And then, if I wanted to say something else, he chomp 2, that's just going to add a keyframe right there. And it's going to keep the same text right here, and then it's going to change it right here, and then this is going to be a different one, and this is going to be a different one, and so on. And so that's how we kind of animate that text over time, all within Fusion. Pretty easy to do. So yeah, that's how we get him to be a healthy man. And so really there's a lot of power in using these polygon masks and masking backgrounds. You could do so much stuff with them. You can animate the masks, you can layer them and make different colors. That's just one little piece, like one of the more basic parts of making graphics in Fusion. And when you're done, you have something that you can really be proud of. you know. So like I said, almost everything in this little sample video was made with assets from Artlist, including the voiceover. Here's a link right here if you want to go check them out, okay? Thanks for watching. Hope this has been helpful. Hope this has been encouraging, and if you've had as much fun as I have, we can get people using absolute units. I think it's pretty important, all right? I'm not gonna use anything else anymore. I'm gonna go get another 19th of an absolute unit of coffee.